New York City, one of the top destinations for anyone visiting the US. I've always been curious about the East Coast vibe, and now I finally got to experience it for myself. From iconic landmarks to hidden gems, I'm taking you along on an unforgettable 3-day journey through the city that never sleeps. Let's dive in! Our first day started with a little hiccup. The trains weren't working, so we decided to take an Uber instead. Welcome to New York life, right? Our first stop was the Grand Central Terminal. The architecture here is just incredible. What's really cool about this place is the giant zodiac constellations on the ceiling. Did you know that it was painted in reverse? If you're a fan of astrology and art, this is something that you'd appreciate even more. Next, we headed to Broadway. I've always wanted to see it lit up at night, but since we have a Broadway show later, we decided to save that for the evening. But let me tell you, Times Square during the day is already buzzing with energy, so I couldn't wait to see it at night. After that, we hopped on a bus to check out Lower Manhattan. I highly recommend this if you're visiting New York. It's such a unique way to experience the city. Big thanks to our cousins Anne and FJ and their adorable dogs Charlie, Eric, and Tony for being the best hosts. We first hopped off at the 9/11 Memorial and spent some time at the enormous pools. From there, we checked out the Oculus building, known for its stunning architecture and design. Inside, it's spacious and modern, offering a nice contrast to the busy streets outside. After a short walk, we grabbed a classic New York hot dog and jumped back on the bus to explore more of Manhattan. We also hopped off at the High Line, which is an elevated park built on an old railway track. It's now a beautiful green space with a great view of the city from above. As we walked along, we also spotted Little Island, which is a cool floating park on the Hudson River. And from there, we also saw the vessel, which looks really impressive. Right before heading to Broadway, we came across this little street fair where we found a legit Mexican stand, so of course we had to try that too. Then it was time for Broadway! We watched 6 and it was absolutely spectacular. I quickly learned that it's not allowed to take videos or photos even during credits, so that's something to keep in mind for next time. Finally, it was time to head back, but we made one last stop at Times Square. The bright lights were even more amazing at night, with giant billboards lighting up the streets and people everywhere. We wrapped up the night by successfully riding a subway back home, giving us a full NYC experience at the end of the day. On our second day, we kicked things off by visiting the Brooklyn Bridge, one of New York's most iconic landmarks. The views of Manhattan skyline were stunning, and fun fact, you can even spot the Statue of Liberty from a distance. After crossing the bridge, we headed to Dumbo, which is known for that picture-perfect view of the Empire State Building framed by the Manhattan Bridge. On our way back, we came across another street fair filled with local artists showing off their work. Then we grabbed a bite at Westville before heading to Anne's tennis game. She's really good. Later that evening, we ordered some authentic halal food and ate it at Country Plaza State Park, enjoying a stunning view of the NYC skyline at night. It was such a relaxing way to end the day, and we couldn't resist stopping by an ice cream truck on our way back. For our final day in New York, we walked around Central Park. We saw the famous Balto statue and made our way to the Bethesda Fountain, also known as the Angel of the Waters. The park was full of movie-like moments, and we even stopped by Bow Bridge, where Spider-Man and MJ met. After soaking in the park, we came across a local artist with incredible photos of New York reflected in puddles of water. We couldn't resist buying prints of the Brooklyn Bridge and the city streets to remember the strip. From there, we walked down Fifth Avenue, which is a shopper's paradise and one of the most iconic streets in the world. Next, we visited St. Patrick's Cathedral, definitely one of those places that makes you stop and appreciate the architecture and history. As we kept walking, we hit a Nintendo store, which was so much fun. Anne even gifted me a Nintendo shirt, which was super sweet and is now my favorite souvenir. We then made our way to the Rockefeller Center and grabbed coffee at Blue Bottle. Before wrapping up, we picked up some bagels from this cute bakery nearby, and because no New York trip is complete without it, we ended the night with a classic New York style pizza delivered to our place. As we look back on the past few days, it was hard to believe how much we had packed into such a short time. It's safe to say that this trip will hold a special place in our hearts. And that's a wrap on our New York City adventure. It's been such an incredible few days exploring the city, but the fun doesn't stop here. We're off to explore another state, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and catch you on the next one!